Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck!
Starts it right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off, following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off, following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off, following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off, following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off, following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off, following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off, following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. The Three Lions take on Italy tonight in a rerun of the 2020 Euro final. The Three Lions needing to kickstart their Nations League campaign after a loss and a draw from 2 games so far. 6 changes for England following the draw in Munich against Germany. Aaron Ramsdale replaces Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James starts at right back in place of Kyle Walker, with James Ward-Prowse coming into midfield ahead of Calvin Phillips. Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham also make the 11, while Jack Grealish starts from the off following his late cameo against the Germans. For Roberto Mancini's Italy, 9 changes following their win over Hungary last time out. Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and Lorenzo Pellegrini are the only players to keep their place. Kickoff is at 7:45. Hello and thank you for joining us for Nations League action again on this Saturday night. England versus Italy coming up for you with Cameron Pope and alongside me, Simon Barlow. We're just getting underway. England playing in their traditional all-white, not at the traditional home stadium. This one taking place in front of a rather diminished crowd at Molineux following the well, let's say the shenanigans that happened last time these two sides met, and the stakes were slightly higher in the Euro 2020 final of last summer. So there might not be any fans in attendance or a limited number, but still, this clash matters much to England, given that 2 games into their Nations League campaign, they are still without a win. I'll go through their lineup for you now. Starting in goal with Aaron Ramsdale. It's a much changed 11 from the side that drew 1-1 with Germany in Munich. 6 changes in all. The back four of James, Tomori, Maguire and Trippier. Ward-Prowse and Rice in defensive midfield with Mount in the central role. Grealish and Sterling are the advanced wide men with Abraham in the middle. As for Italy, they're in all blue. Donnarumma in goal. Di Marco, Acerbi, Gatti and Di Lorenzi are the back four. Tonali, Locatelli and Frattesi are the midfield. Pellegrini and Pessina the wide men, and Scamacca is the solo man up front. So plenty to get into on these team selections, and really depends how we want to break this one down. Cy Barlow next to me. I'll get his thoughts on it in just a moment. The referee from Poland is Simon Marciniak. We've had about 90 seconds of play, very little to describe for you just yet. And so, Cy, looking at these two teams, what can we really glean from what we've got on paper?
Yeah, I mean, obviously experimental from both sides in different ways. Italy are experimenting for the long-term future, having not qualified for the World Cup.
Here they come now, straight through the middle. Frattesi, he's put it wide, and that could have been his first goal for Italy.
Yeah.
The Sassuolo man in his second cap received it in the penalty area from Pessina. England caught napping, flat-footed at the back. He carved his way through, got away from Rice, who was back-stepping, couldn't get near him. And the Sassuolo man flashes it across the face of Aaron Ramsdale's goal. Less off for England, 0-0.
What's worrying for England there is it's the same hole in the defence and almost the same move which led to the German goal they scored in Munich just the other night when Harry Maguire got drawn out into coming out of the back four, and the ball was played in behind, and the back four didn't. The fullbacks didn't come in. The midfielders didn't anticipate. Goalkeeper was slow off his line, and Frattesi really should have scored there. He won't get a better chance, really, to open his account for the Azzurri, and that could so easily have seen England down within the first 2.5 minutes of the game. But like I say, they are building for the long-term future, having not qualified for the World Cup. You know, the Nations League probably means a little bit more to them in that sense. They've got the Euros. They'll be looking to defend in a couple of years' time. But England, this match really is low on priorities. It's about getting through the game. It's about having a look at one or two things, which clearly Gareth Southgate has done with his team selection. James Ward-Prowse, I would say, is one of the experiments. So not experiment, I guess. He's a player that, has been in and around the England squad for a while, but he'll be somebody who'll be keeping a keen eye on to see if he can, produce and then maybe make a case for himself to be in the 23.
Reece James brings it forward for England. It comes into the feet of Abraham 35 yards out. He's brought down to ground, and England will win a free kick. They might have been looking for an advantage initially because Raheem Sterling had the ball with his back to goal 25 yards out, but the referee has spotted the earlier infringement, and it might be a smart move actually, because I'm not sure that Sterling could have done much with the sea of blue he was surrounded by. So a free kick to England.
Tammy Abraham,
40 yards out.
Another good example of a player that Gareth Southgate will want to see do well tonight. He's picked him against players that he will know from Serie A, so he's given him every chance. But with Harry Kane's backup is a position which England haven't found somebody to fill that role. They've tried Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's not really stuck, but Tammy Abraham's got a big chance tonight to get himself on that plane to Qatar.
Tammy Abraham and, of course, Fikayo Tomori, Roma and Milan, respectively. They'll know their opponents well. 4 minutes gone. England with a free kick 45 yards out, chipped into the penalty area towards Maguire. There's a defensive foot away. Grealish will collect it near side the left edge of the penalty area. Play back and a shot. Goal was, but tamely into the goalkeeper's hands from Mount. Donnarumma on cap number 46 for Italy. Watches that one into his hands all day long. 4 minutes gone and change. England 0, Italy 0.
Yeah, England responding there from that set piece, keeping the ball and getting a shot in on goal. Risky from Italy, though. And now it could be a chance if it's gone wide from Tammy Abraham, but he picked the ball up there off a loose pass from Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy persisting with this habit of playing the ball casually out from the back, and he was on the touch there was Tammy Abraham. He stumbled towards goal and got forced wide and then shot into the side netting.
Well, 4 minutes gone. We should have had a goal at either end. And Gianluigi Donnarumma, I've just laid praise on him for his experience at his young age. It's a pass back he might have had nightmares about had it gone against him. Dropped out to the edge of the penalty area and pounced straight upon. 0-0, 5 minutes gone.
Yeah, it's perhaps come a bit too soon for Tammy Abraham. That, I mean, he's only just really got into the game, and he's sort of stumbling around as it comes to him. Credit to him, though, for closing down the defender and being on the risky pass from Donnarumma, but in the end, he sort of never really showed any conviction with getting the shot away.
So we've had 5.5 minutes, still goalless, chances at either end. And immediately Roberto Mancini is shouting out from his technical area. His side have given away the throw-in advantage that they had, and England will try and break. Jack Grealish up towards halfway. Grealish, well, he's hauled down to ground. England this time will get the advantage. Tammy Abraham Now looks around and tries to scout out a white shirt. He found that of Mason Mount. Crossfield ball out to the right-hand side. Maybe a chance brewing here. Sterling feeds it down the line. Is there a crossing opportunity? 6 minutes gone, still 0-0. England knocking on the door. Ward-Prowse is dispossessed in possession. And Italy will pounce on top of that one.
Yeah, the Italian side, I saw them in Germany in the first game of this group. And they played with real pride, even though they were inexperienced. But they did defend deep in that game. I don't expect them to defend as deep in this game. I think they will be a little bit more, positive on the ball, try and get it wide, try and get balls into Scamacca, who looks like a handful. He's got a good touch on him and will hold the ball up well. But I just think he lacks that sort of clinical finisher element to his game that Italy will be looking to, develop over the course of time.
No goals yet for the Sassuolo man. Scamacca up, pronging Italy's three-man attack. 6.5 gone. Still no goals. England give it away on halfway, and the Azzurri will come forward now. Pellegrini left-hand side of the area. Quick step over. Maguire saw it coming. It's dealt with well. Reece James now battling in to work it back towards Maguire, and Maguire goes across his own penalty area. It's not one you'll find in the defensive manual, but it has worked. Trippier, left edge of the box, plays it forward. Mason Mount tackled. Out for a throw-in to England halfway inside their own half.
Yeah, Mason Mount seemed to be playing a little bit more inside in this game. He was off the left of a front three against Germany, and then got moved inside as things clearly weren't going England's way, and they had to shift things around. Jack Grealish, of course, came on in that game and started to really create, and that's when England got the momentum back and got the equaliser through Harry Kane's penalty. It'll be interesting to see how England cope without Kane, because he has been a real crutch to lean on throughout Gareth Southgate's reign, because he's been one of the top strikers in Europe, of course. But I think playing him sort of 3 games on the trot, 90 minutes he got against both Hungary and Germany meant that sort of, had to sort of be a little bit more sensible here, Gareth Southgate. And so he's kept him on the bench. And I think it's the right game to bring Tammy Abraham in to replace him with as well, because of that Italian connection and the goals he scored for Roma in Serie A this season. So England have a throw-in on the left-hand side. Kieran Trippier is going to take it. The left back, he's pretty much England's only fit left back in the squad after the injury to James Justin. Unfortunately, Justin picking up that injury on his debut against Hungary a week ago. The throw-in is knocked out for another throw. And this time Trippier throws it inside towards Mount, who helps it on its way towards Sterling. He's onside over on the right-hand side, full-back, getting back in. He's got help there from Reece James. And he plays it towards Mount, who hits the crossbar. Donnarumma struggling, and Tammy Abraham with a follow-up header knocks it wide. But a first-time effort from Mount has hit the woodwork, and England denied by the crossbar.
Well, it's certainly been end-to-end in the opening few minutes. England moving it so well from midfield to attacking phase. They've managed to move it with a plum, and a strike from Mount. He's very unlucky there. Saved well by the goalkeeper. And just gets his hand underneath it, and it cracks off the front of the crossbar. Steelwork in the Midlands, keeping it goalless. But Donnarumma there looked like he was stretching a little bit. And England hitting the front foot after a steady start. It should have been 1-0 to Italy after a few moments. Davide Fratesi with the opening chance, only on his second appearance for the Azzurri. And now it's Italy coming forward again. Near side there right. What can they do with Pessina? Up towards the attacking third. Rocks onto his left foot. Has he got a man on the overlap? Di Lorenzo is going to be left to run. Instead, it's going to come back central. Locatelli sees nothing on coming forward. Goes back to Gatti in the centre circle. And England will hold their position behind the ball. Ignore the temptation to press. Still 0-0. 9.5 gone. You're listening to Cameron Pope and Sai Barlow on this off-tube independent studio-based commentary. Near side the right, Fratesi. Back it goes towards Lorenzo. Lorenzo going down a blind alley. Has to use Fratesi again. Right edge of the box. Cuts it back, crosses in, and it's dealt with well by Fikayo Tomori. I say that, it's gone straight up in the air, and it's controlled by a blue shirt. Di Lorenzo across the face of goal. There was no one there in blue. England can pick it up the far side, and just it looked like it might have been coming to nothing. Raheem Sterling's going to have a go at turning defence into attack. A little bit too much for the Manchester City man to do. 10 gone. He's dispossessed in halfway. England 0, Italy 0, but a good spell in possession for Italy there.
Yeah, and they had a dangerous moment, didn't they, at the end, with that ball flashed across the 6-yard box. Fikayo Tomori got himself in an awkward position trying to clear, and he's made amends there with a good interception, but Italy have it back.
Forward they come, 40 yards out for Fratesi. Picks out Pessina, right edge of the penalty area. Near side for Italy. England still holding that shape, and 4-2-3-1. It forces Italy back to halfway. And the ebb and flow coming and going. No side really taking the advantage yet. stepped up the initiative, left their mark on this game. Chipped over the top from Italy and still nothing into the path of Pessina. That one's going to go out for a throw. England ball, 20 yards inside their own half. We're going to get another look at the raft of chances for Italy. It was initially a good clearance, it seemed, from Tomori. Then it ended up landing right at the feet of the Italy man and swept across the face of goal by Giovanni Di Lorenzo. No again on the end of it. And England will ham it clear. 11 gone. England 0, Italy 0.
He's got every right to ask his teammates why they weren't coming in on that ball. And I mentioned Gianluca Scamacca not looking like an international class finisher to me. He doesn't sniff out the chances either. I mean, he's the centre forward. He's got 9 on his back. Where was he? It was behind the penalty spot when that ball was there to be crossed. And Mancini will want more from him in terms of getting into goal scoring positions.
11 and a half minutes gone. England 0, Italy 0. The game from Molineux. It's at the feet of Aaron Ramsdale, second cap for the Arsenal man, all in yellow. Drops it short to Maguire. Maguire chips into the feet of Tomori, controls it on his knee. Scamacca pressuring. Goalkeeper will clear up towards halfway. England lose the header with Mount battling, but it's won back in the second phase of play. Trippier into the feet of Grealish. City man 20 yards inside his own half. Works out to the right-hand side, but it's a heavy touch from Sterling, uncharacteristically so, given away, and Tonali plays it down the line to Pellegrini, and it's a poor ball inside then. It sees England pounce with James Ward-Prowse, who slips one out near side the England left. What can be done to work this one forward? Ward-Prowse looking to get that ball across. Vertesi right on top of it as England tried to move from defence into midfield, but they've managed it. They have it far side there right with Reece James. With 3 games in now, this being the 3rd game signed into this Nations League campaign, and okay, we say that these are still, only one up from friendlies, don't hold the same weight as the qualifiers do. I'm going to break off from this for a moment because England are coming forward with Mount near side there left, up towards Grealish, socks rolled down as always, onto his right foot now, into the penalty area, cuts it back for Ward-Prowse, but he shows too much of it to the Azzurri. Italy will clear. Now they're looking for a counter-attack. Can they get away? Pellegrini's run aground of Grealish, slips and slides and tries to keep the ball alive. Has he got the touch he wants off an England man? Well, I think it's gone to Italy, and Gareth Southgate will stand on that ball and wait for the Azzurri to take it. He's in no hurry to give it back. 13 gone, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0. Well, as I said, we're 2.5 games into this campaign now. And at what point does this stop being a situation whereby they're glorified friendlies? And at what point do England have to face up to the genuine fear that they might drop into the second tier of this tournament?
After the World Cup, I think, the whole scheduling of these games a few months before the big tournament in Qatar is a bit of a nonsense, but that's where we are in terms of the schedule. Once they move the World Cup from the summer to the winter, then these summer games became nothing more than glorified friendlies. I think the conclusion of the Nations League, which will come after the World Cup, will be a lot more serious. We'll see stronger teams played and much more bite about the game. Like we say, we played 14 minutes. We've not seen a foul in the game yet. The referee is hard. We've seen one. He actually played on, didn't he, when England had an attack? But he's hardly had to put his whistle to his lips.
Italy going through the phases of play. 20 yards inside the England half. Di Lorenzo's seen a lot of the ball down this right-hand side. He slides it forward to Pessina, also been in the action, but he's blocked up by Trippier. Throw in to the Italians halfway inside the England half. 14 gone, still no score. Di Lorenzo with the ball in hand. Surveys his options. Vertesi's blocked off by Grealish. He could go down the line here. That might be what he has to do. He does in the end, and it's controlled by Pessina. Italy's main outlet so far. Rolls it into Scamacca, and Scamacca's wide on the right-hand side now, which means Italy have few options going forward, but either way it's pinched off by England, and Rice can come out of the defensive third into a steady move from Mount, who plays it back towards Grealish. England happy to play in the defensive third, keep the ball. No pressing, no urgency needed so far. England 0, Italy 0, just come up to the 15-minute mark. James Ward-Prowse into the feet of Rice. Over halfway now, but it's a poor ball towards Mount, and that one's slid away from him. England will have the throw, though, so they're advancing steadily up the pitch, and Roberto Mancini is straight out into his technical area, dishing out instructions. What do you think is going to be the flavour of this team talk at the moment? What will he be seeing that he's not happy with in this Italian side?
Possibly the midfielders not moving out into the wide areas there. He's got basically picked 4-3-3 with 3 central midfielders, and I think they're all a bit reluctant to come out of their main hunting zone and to come into the wide areas to fill gaps that are being created by England's fullbacks. So, that's definitely an area I think England can exploit at the moment until they sort that out. We've not seen much of Reece James, who is one of the best fullbacks in the Premier League. We have seen a bit of Kieran Trippier on the ball, but I think when they get it to James, he can cause some real damage if he's not being closed down by the midfielders.
It does seem to be a battle currently on the near side of the field as myself and Simon look at it on our TV pictures. It is now with Reece James on that far side England right, though. Plays a quick 1-2 with Abraham. It's out to the right-hand side. What can they do now? Sterling, right edge of the penalty area. Cuts it back to James once again. Rice is going to come short. He's still 45 yards out, though, with plenty of blue shirts between him and the box. Goes back over his shoulder to Maguire. There's a fierce ball out to the right-hand side. It's juggled well there by Reece James. I thought he did excellently well to get that ball under control. Maguire has it back with interest in the end, and it's going to end up in only one place, and that's with the furthest white shirt back for Kaya Tomori.
Yeah, I think he's brilliant, Reece James. He obviously got caught for the penalty against Germany, but I think when he's playing well and he's fit, he looks great.
Here comes Sterling into the penalty area. Tries to get a shot away from the acute angle. It's blocked off and just cuts behind for a corner to England. 16.5 gone. England 0, Italy 0. And the City man not afraid to drive there at the defence, and run them he did. And Federico Di Marco of Inter just got his body in the way, puts it out for a corner.
Yeah, I think Sterling and James on that side could really get at the Italians. On that occasion, James sort of held his position, didn't want to overlap, thinking that he didn't want to attract more defenders into the penalty area. So he's using his head there and just letting Sterling do his bit and win the corner.
Here it comes. Ward-Prowse, arm in the air and salute to his teammates. Whips it in swinger, right footed and shot over the bar. Declan Rice met it. First man to reach it in any colour. Got his strike away. It was a clean hit too, but Grace whips over the cross by about a foot or so. Not quite near enough for England, but an impressive enough training ground move. Italy didn't get anywhere near the ball.
Yeah.
The clinicality just not there.
Really was a training ground move. He's the first man on the move, Rice, so he knows that ball is coming to him. It's great when you've got a set-piece taker like Ward-Prowse, who can almost put it on a sixpence in the penalty area, and Rice was on the move and getting into the space before the Italians could react.
Long ball forward from Italy. It's hard to see what they were trying to do, but Sandro Tonali's got right underneath it like a sand wedge and plumped it out on the left-hand side for an England throw-in.
England's corners, by the way, against Germany were abysmal, and they swapped the corner taker. In fact, against Hungary they were as well. They swapped the corner taker around quite a few times. Mason Mount, Trent Alexander-Arnold against Hungary. Neither of them really could produce the right corner delivery, but we've seen the first one there from Ward-Prowse right on the money.
Crossfield ball for England brings Jack Grealish into play. Can he add interest to the equation? Bringing in Trippier. He opts to keep the ball himself a step longer. Brings in Mount. Now Trippier will have it. Left foot, it turns back inside. Cuts towards the corner of the area. Mason Mount. Now Ward-Prowse. Back down the left-hand side once again to Trippier. Grealish has it in the penalty area. You see a flurry of his white shirt as he tries to whip himself into a crossing position. That's where we'll find Trippier by way of Ward-Prowse. Goes down the line, is across towards the back post. It's a cross shot in the end, and it almost caught out Donnarumma, who had to just take a step back to watch that one in from Mason Mount. Rocked back onto his goal line, pucks it out the air. It's England 0, Italy 0. 18.5 minutes gone, but you're starting to see England flowing more into that attacking third.
Yeah, Mason Mount, a big part of that sort of change in fluidity for England. I think he does look more comfortable playing inside. He's a good linker of play, and he spots the space there really well to get into the wide area to get a cross in, and maybe just try to miscalculate the cross really, and it might have been better away from Donnarumma. 19
gone. England 0, Italy 0. Sandro Tonali on the ball, 10 yards inside his own half. Forced to the left-hand side, the bleach-headed figure of Di Marco. To Acerbi, long crossfield ball. It's an ambitious one. It's not going to come off as well. It's hit too long, and it just gives Trippier something to shield from Pessina, as it does indeed trickle out for a goal kick to England. 19.5 gone. Not too much to treat the young spectators to so far at Molineux. It does seem to be, as UEFA do tend to allow for behind closed doors games, young children of school age who have come to the home of Wolverhampton Wanderers to watch this one. Hungary and Germany are currently locked at 1-1 in the other League A Group 3 match, that one in Budapest. Italy trying to win the ball back in the midfield region, but they're stopped by Harry Maguire, who puts boot to ball and sends it 80 yards down the Molineux field. So at the moment, there's a score stand with England goalless against Italy in this one, and the Hungarians and the Germans level. It's Italy who top the group at the halfway stage. They would be qualifying to the Nations League finals next year as it stands. Hungary and Germany on 4 points and 3 points, respectively, in second and third. And England, at the moment, bottom of the group with 2. And of course, that does mean that if it should stay this way, and we'll stress there's plenty of football to be played before and after the World Cup, it would mean that England dropped into the second tier of Nations League football. And depending on where results go elsewhere, that could put them below Wales, which will be the first time that has happened in this competition. And it's now in its 3rd cycle. Came up against some opposition in its early days, but say what you like about it, it has pitted sides of equal measure against each other. At the moment, these two sides cancelling each other out. 21 minutes gone. Tomori, halfway inside his own half, has limited options in white, so picks one in yellow. That's Ramsdale in his 18-yard box. Drop it short to Tomori again, who's seen plenty of the ball, looks at ease. The ball at his feet on his 3rd appearance for the Three Lions. Uses Jack Grealish, and Italy just starting to ignite a little bit of a press now as they harry England back into another pass for Ramsdale. But he's not had to make a save so far, the England goalkeeper. He has seen Davide Fratesi with the ball past his far post just 2 minutes in, and that was the closest he came to being called into action. He's seen plenty of it with his feet, however. And England padding the way up towards halfway. Trippier near side the England left, tries to play an ambitious ball down the line towards Raheem Sterling. The ball's well kept in on the near side. It was Di Lorenzo with the initial tackle, and then Pessina to keep the slide. And now it's Fratesi on halfway, who can try and ignite an Italian move, but England have got enough bodies back just to deal with it for now and stem the flow. Fratesi has it again. Grealish is chasing him all the way. Pessina near side the right, back to the run of Fratesi, and it slid him too well by Rice, who manages to win the ball, limps away from that challenge a little bit, but England have kept it in with Trippier. It's a risky ball back to the goalkeeper by Jack Grealish, but Ramsdale did what all smart goalkeepers do and just put boot to ball, and if in doubt, well, he out, and that's exactly what he's done. So a throw into Italy on halfway. We're going to get a quick rerun of the Declan Rice challenge as he flew in on Fratesi, and he looks to just hurt himself a little bit in that one. He's grimacing ever so slightly, but so far, England, after that brief scare in 2 minutes, haven't looked too rattled defensively.
No, slight concerns there over Rice. As he got up limping from that challenge. It was Fratesi's boot that caught his ankle as he made the well-timed challenge, and it was needed as well. It was a lovely sort of weighted ball from Pessina to Fratesi, who'd made a burst from midfield, but it was tracked all the way. And it looks like Rice is picking up Fratesi, pretty much all the time as he makes those forward runs out of midfield.
So we've had 23 minutes of this Nations League League A Group 3 game. It's currently England 0, Italy 0. The Italians have a free kick just a shade inside the England half. Trippier's foul on Pessina. And without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Sai Barlow to take us through to half-time and hopefully Sai give us some goals.
Cheers, Cameron. Yeah, I don't think I can guarantee that. But it's been an interesting game without really being sort of exciting. There's nothing full-blooded about it, but teams are probing and, again, hunting the ball there. Tammy Abraham looking to prey on the touch of Gianluigi Donnarumma. He's ice cool, though, isn't he? He played that ball away to a teammate, and then now there's a foul on Gatti by Mount, which gives Italy the chance to clear from a free kick deep in their own territory. Yeah, the Azzurri have been a little bit more ambitious than they were in the home game against Germany. I saw them play, but there are a few gaps to be exploited there. And Scamacca now lays it off into midfield for Tonali. Wide it goes to the far side, and Federico Di Marco played back into Locatelli. Lovely rangy pass out to the right side. First time cross in at the far post. Could be a chance here for Tonali. Great save. Fantastic save for Ramsdale, who came out and got some knee, I think, or boot to it. And England survived, but England really exploited there with Locatelli's long ball finding Di Lorenzo on the overlap, and his first time cross almost finished off at the back post by Tonali.
That is a fantastic bit of goalkeeping there from Aaron Ramsdale. And I just said as I came off commentary, he's not really been called into action. It's a sign of a good goalkeeper, knowing that in the blink of an eye he might be needed. He got his body across, not sure what part of the anatomy it was that kept it out, but keep it out it did. England 0, Italy 0.
Yellow card coming here from Polish referee. It is for Locatelli, who set up that opportunity with the fantastic ball. Should Tonali have done better? He's not known for his finishing. He's come to him on his right foot. He's tried to control it, hit it into the deck. By doing so, he's given Ramsdale a chance. If he goes high, Ramsdale doesn't get that. He's gone low.
Take nothing away from the goalkeeper. It's a really good piece of reactionary goalkeeping, but you have to think as well that either side of the goalkeeper there, really, if it's outside the plane of his body, it's going to be a very difficult one to stop. And I think, okay, it's a fantastic save, but I think that Tonali gives him every chance.
Locatelli yellow carded for a foul on Grealish in midfield, so England have a free kick. inside Italian territory. They've sent Maguire up, they've sent Tomori up, and Ward-Prowse stands over the ball. He's got James coming over in attendance, but I don't think there's any doubt who's going to take this free kick. It's far too distant for it to result in a famous Ward-Prowse goal or a shot, but just complaining here that the Italian one-man wall is too close. Here's the cross from Ward-Prowse, headed down the edge of the box by Acerbi, drops to Grealish. Italy holding firm on the edge of the penalty area. Mount linking up with Grealish, the ex-Aston Villa man, who would probably be booed by the Molineux crowd if they were in here. Puts a cross in, but it's knocked away by Tonali, and then scraped away by Italy, won back by Tomori. He gets it to Abraham, and now England on the attack again, but Italy with everybody back. Trippier plays it wide. Mount, good feet initially, has to play it backwards though. There was no way through the Italians, who are closing down quickly, and England have been forced back into their own half.
Well, that's it there, Italy just holding the shape, doing what England did to them in the opening phases of the game, pushing the three lines back over halfway, and just forces them to rethink. But the one good thing about this, I feel, is that we've allowed England now to go down both flanks. We said we hadn't seen much of Reece James. He's now got a bit of a foot on the ball a little bit more, and England have those two outlets now we're starting to see.
Abraham linking up with Sterling as the challenge comes in from Di Marco, but he rides that one, knocks it back to Maguire. Maguire advances into the Italian half, left it a little bit late before chipping it out to the left-hand side, but it's a good delivery to Grealish. First touch was decent as well. Slips it inside to Mount. Italy defenders all around him. So England stay patient and go back via Trippier and Rice all the way back to Tomori, the ex-Chelsea defender who scored on this ground for his club in a famous 5-2 win under Frank Lampard in the season when Lampard was giving the youngsters a chance. But as soon as Thomas Tuchel pretty much took over, and Tomori and a couple of others fell by the wayside and became forgotten men at Stamford Bridge. So he's had to go elsewhere. He's now a Serie A champion, winning the Scudetto in his first full season in Italian football. As Rice has it now, plays it back to Maguire. Maguire into Ward-Prowse's feet, back to the Manchester United captain. Whether he keeps that armband will remain to be seen. At the start of next season, Grealish infield, linking up with Ward-Prowse and playing it back to Maguire. England dominating possession, but not really going anywhere with it at the moment. They've got it out to the right for James, linking up with Sterling. James on the overlap, has the space, delivers to Grealish. Chance here to poke it towards goal, and it's cleared away from almost the 6-yard box. Grealish just stuck a boot out, no real authority on the shot, but it did seem goal-bound.
Well, that's it. England getting into those attacking places once again, and it was not too dissimilar as well to the chance we saw from Tonali down the other end. That little cut back opens up to a man who's not known for his finishing, you might say, more known for his work in the midfield third. It comes to Grealish, you may be expecting to do a little bit more, but England just keeping those attempts on target coming, and it's boding well for the continuation.
Yeah, Gatti fouled by Grealish, who slips, I think, as he tried to slide in. That's going to be a yellow card for the Manchester City man now, as he was out of control, lunging into the tackle, but I think it was more because of the slip than anything else.
But I think you've got to be careful there if you're Grealish. And I was a little bit worried just for a moment as I looked towards Simon Marchini at the referee. I thought, hang on. I mean, I know this is going to be a card, but sometimes you need a couple of replays to see that, okay, his feet are planted and he has been careful there, taking every precaution. But I looked at that for a moment. I thought, I might be a little bit worried here. But no, he's planted it before he's gone into the man. I think he has slipped, lost his bearings, and is footing a little bit. But it's not a clean challenge by Grealish, and one that you can only expect a yellow card for, at least.
Yeah, I think so. I do sometimes think that the bigger the game, sometimes the referees can see things a little bit differently. I know that Michael Oliver, the English referee, recently admitted a mistake that he made at the Euros when he sent off Swiss midfielder Remco Freuler in a game with Spain, where he said, we looked at as a group of referees, we looked at that after the tournament, and we felt that in a game of that magnitude, it probably wasn't a red; it was only a yellow. But so he's, maybe referees can sometimes see it one way, and he's put himself in a position there, Jack Grealish, that in a World Cup game, that could be a really hairy moment.
That's it. And I think that's another thing now that, okay, you look at these games, competitive friendlies is probably the phrase we're looking for. And the element of, okay, if you get a couple of yellow cards now, and we've got a couple of England players who are, you've got Maguire and James, both now one yellow away from suspension. It just gets you in that mindset of thinking, okay, this yellow card I might pick up now does have repercussions further down the line.
Yeah, it's something you wouldn't get in a friendly, isn't it? The yellow cards don't matter a jot in that. In fact, very rarely do you get yellow cards. Ball forward from Italy is poor, and it's headed away by Tomori. Now Rice tries to set up attack. Grealish knocks it forward. Chance here for Tammy Abraham. Knocks it back to Grealish. There's not much happening down the left-hand side because Grealish has vacated that position. Trippier now trying to fill the space as Abraham waggles his leg and knocks it back to Rice. Rice forced backwards, though, and credit to Italy. They got opened up there, but they got back behind the ball quickly and forced England back again.
That's it now. I think we're starting to see both sides have really planted their stakes in the turf. They know where they're going to set themselves out. And it's been a bit of a stalemate, really. We've seen too much changed 11s, 15 changes in all, and a lot of youthful inexperience in there too. And nearly that showing there as it's given away by Italy. But good recovery, you think, from Di Lorenzo, a man who's seen enough international football to know that Jack Grealish is always a threat when you show him a little bit too much of the ball. But I've been impressed with both teams. I was a little bit concerned when I saw the lineups come out that, is this going to be a bit more of a training exercise? But no, they've both stood up well to each other, and they seem to be cancelling each other out in all areas of the field at the moment.
Yeah, Italy certainly putting a bit of focus on defence, but they have had the best chance of the game. The save from Ramsdale to deny Tonali. England hit the woodwork as well after lovely play through the midfield and the setup from Raheem Sterling, and that's the closest we come to a goal at both ends with 31 and a bit minutes gone at Molineux. Here's Maguire slipping it to Ward-Prowse, the deepest of the England midfielders. James again involved, but goes back to Maguire. Now Ward-Prowse, good ball round the corner to James, who draws the fullback out. Now he plays it down the line, space for Sterling, and he's behind the fullback, but Sterling's pass, no weight on that to Mount, and he can't get around the back of Acerbi, who shepherds it behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, Lazio man did well there, and he's belting out instructions at his teammates. He wants to be doing better. Okay, 24 caps. He's one of the senior statesmen in this Italian lineup. In fact, he's got the most caps behind the goalkeeper, who's about half his age. But you're looking at it and you're thinking, okay, he'll be expecting more in that midfield third there, and he wouldn't have been wanted to put into a position where he's having to wrestle with the England man to watch that ball out over the goal line. But so far, a relatively clean performance from either sides, and that's why it remains 0-0.
Another bizarre goal kick from Italy there as he played it short, literally 5 yards, and then the ball was played back to Donnarumma, who then hoofed it clear. I mean, why not just do that from the outset? What is the point in playing a short goal kick like that when you've got England players pressing and looking to hunt the ball? And it's almost gone awry for them once already. Long ball over top from Tonali, seeking out Samaka, misjudged by Tomori, but well done, Maguire. There's been a clash of defenders there. Maguire's head on Tomori's knee as Maguire did sweep up behind Tomori after the initial mistake.
Maguire did so well there, and such bravery too. He's gone down holding his head before he's actually got Tomori. Scamacca went in with his foot. It was nowhere near the ball, nor the head of Maguire. Maguire got there first, put his body on the line, though, made no mistake, and then clattered into his own man. He does seem to be okay. Not had them at the best of seasons at club level, I think it's fair to say by all accounts, but Gareth Southgate known for sticking with those who've served him well in the past in an England shirt, and we only saw at the last Euros just how excellent Raheem Sterling was, particularly in the big games. I'm thinking back to that Germany clash, etc. And that was off a really poor season with Manchester City, and that's why it pays dividends.
Rice driving forward, edge of the penalty area. Referee says no foul as he's crowded out by the Italians, and now Tonali drives clear for Azzurri. Good ball slipped out wide here. Chance for Pellegrini. In fact, it might be Pessina who's gone over to that side. He plays it back anyway. And there is no advancement from Italy, who go back to the safe harbour of midfield with Locatelli. He's surveying his options and looks left and then looks right. Now he's looking for somebody to come in off the left-hand side. But in the end, Pellegrini linking up with Tonali. It finds Fratesi laid back into defence and played wide to the right-hand side. Here is Pessina, nimble of foot, left-footed mainly. Good way to pass on him. He's looking to link up in the penalty areas. He's turned around the corner, but knocked away by the England defence. Tammy Abraham trying to slide to keep it in. Doesn't. Well, he actually must have got a touch there because it's going to be an England throw, I think.
Oh, I didn't really see that as an England throw myself there, so I thought that was Italy's all the way. But just going back to that free kick chance as well, I was disappointed that I didn't see a whistle from Simo Marciniak. I thought that Declan Rice's feet were taken from behind him. I don't think he would have gone down to ground in that position, knowing that he had options going further forward. It seemed that his feet were taken from underneath him. Wasn't punished, and he got away with one.
Yeah, letting it flow a bit, but maybe letting it flow a little bit too much on that occasion. Maguire plays a risky ball into midfield, and Mount does well under pressure to get it to his club colleague James. We've got about 10 minutes to half time. Former Chelsea defender Tomori now on to Rice, who's again another former Chelsea player, and he's much younger years, got released by him. Ward-Prowse switches it out to the right-hand side for Raheem Sterling. The captain's armband on his shoulder, puts a cross into the box, headed away by Acerbi. England try and pick up the loose ball there with James. Cushion header down to Sterling. Plays it back edge of the box. Ward-Prowse. Cross to Rice, 30 yards out. Good ball out to Trippier in bags of space, but no support there close to him. He does find Grealish popping up in a sort of number 10 position. He's got the 7 on his back. He's got the socks rolled down. He's got a sort of David Beckham hairstyle as well. It could be a bit of a throwback from Grealish tonight. As, again, England recycle the ball back to Tomori. Now with Ward-Prowse. Looking to work it wide. James outside the boot ball into Sterling. Italy a little bit reluctant to press here, but they've got some pressure on Sterling as he knocks it back to Maguire. Samaka's just jogging around, not really getting close enough to close down anybody. Wide it goes to James again. Now Ward-Prowse. Weaving some pretty patterns, but not going anywhere. And I think they're being sort of caught up in Italy's tangled web of midfield at the moment. Italy just sitting off, waiting to pick off the loose pass, but credit to England, they haven't played that loose pass. They haven't fallen into the trap. And now Rice stretches the game with a lofted ball out to the right. And the dangerous James has it, cutting in field. Pellegrini, the first line of defence. He's got support on the outside. Lovely dink pass. Cross comes into the far post. Grealish won't head it. Tries to cross it back in there towards Sterling. Scraped away by Gatti. And it won't go out. So Grealish keeps it in. He's claiming a foul there from Dimarco, but there wasn't much contact. And knocks it back as England look to forge another chance with Trippier. Edge of the penalty area, always wants it on his right foot. Knocks it safely back to Maguire. Wide it goes to Mount. It's a poor ball, though, back to him, rather, from James. And Italy have it back.
Again, just more promise from England, but there was no end product in that one. And I thought maybe when that cross came along the goal line that Grealish might have been able to do more with a little flick back. He opted not to head it at goal. Tried to have a little dink on the left foot. Wasn't really a chance on, and it just kind of fell away, really. And I'm not sure what he was complaining for on the left side of the penalty area. No chance of a free kick. But the fact that England are getting repeatedly now into these zones tells me that, Gareth Southgate can be very pleased in a few minutes' time with his halftime team talk. We want to see a little bit more clinicality going forward, though. Yeah. Start making the most of this possession and turning these chances into something concrete.
England have just started to find some rhythm to the passing, and the longer passing starting to work, although that one, as I say, that is hooked away by Gatti into the feet of Pessina. England looking for handball there as Pessina controlled, but referee seeing nothing wrong with that. Now Pessina takes over after a loose touch from Trippier and sets it up for Scamacca, pulling wide right-hand side. The Sassuolo striker is forced back by Tomori, but turns nicely to find Fratesi. Pessina's offside, so Fratesi has to go back. England held a solid line there.
That's it again there. England just managed to switch from attack to defence. They've had the ball all their own way for the last sort of 10 minutes, now forced to go in the defensive, and they've kept that shape. They're sitting in those banks of 4 and 3, and it's working for them so far.
Pessina out to Fratesi, digs out a left foot cross towards the far post. James was back there covering and heads it with good distance back to the crosser, Fratesi, linking up with Dimarco. Yazuri on the attack at the moment, staying patient, looking to work the ball short in triangles with Pessina and Fratesi back to Locatelli, and he's got no route forward, so plays it all the way back to Donnarumma. About 7 minutes to half time. Might be a bit of stoppage time at the end of the first period. There's not been any major injuries so far, as it's chipped forward into the England half. Or again, misjudged there by Tomori, but was he being fouled? I'm not sure the referee. Yeah, he has given that, I think, as a foul on Tomori, so it's going to be England's free kick.
I think I've been impressed with Tomori so far, really. He got caught out in the opening 2 minutes, as the whole of the England defence did. But for a man who's not had to do too much, he's just made sure that everything's been measured. He's not flubbed his lines yet. He's played the simple ball when the simple ball's been on. He's not been one of the defenders we've seen on either side showing too much to the opposition. It's been a resolute and confident performance from him so far.
Saw him play for Hull in the Championship a few years back. If you told me then he was going to be a potential England World Cup player, I would have shaken my head at. Yes, a shot goes in there from Mason Mount straight at goalkeeper Donnarumma, and rather like the first Mount shot of the game, it was too close to the keeper.
Well, it's a carbon copy, really, isn't it? Same area of the pitch, same finish, same angle for the goalkeeper who barely has to. In fact, he doesn't have to take a step either way, and he still manages to juggle it a little bit there, Donnarumma, but it's a very comfortable save. And you want to see a little bit more from Mason Mount there, I feel. He's got it on his right foot. He can generate really good whip in his Chelsea games, can't he? And then neither time is he forced the goalkeeper to go either side. And it's 2 chances, and both of them have been plum catches for the goalkeeper. So we want to see him working the angles a little bit more. But again, England have no problem creating the opportunities at the moment. It's taking them. That's proving a little harder.
Yeah, as England come forward again over the halfway line with Maguire. Sterling wide on the right-hand side, links up with James, who's playing a little bit inverted at the moment. Back to Rice, lofting it out to the left, but this time Dimarco was on his toes and nodded it away. Pessina completes the clearance, only as far as Ward-Prowse. Given away by Trippier. Fratesi protecting the ball well, but seeing no route forward, has to go back to the fullback DiMarco. Now Gatti under pressure from Mount. Goes straight back to DiMarco. Italy trying to stay cool under pressure. Locatelli slips it to Tonali. And now DiMarco again. Played into the feet of Pessina. And now wide to Pellegrini off the Italian left. He's all right foot. Knocks it back to the supporting DiMarco. Now cross goes in from Fratesi, half blocked there by Ward-Prowse, falls to Pessina, who tries to cut it back towards Scamacca, who shoots on the turn and blazes it over the bar.
Oh, that was an opportunity there, and he's had slim picking so far, Scamacca. I think he looked confident too as he turned on the spin. That probably thought that was his moment. Takes it well in the chest. The first touch is really good. Opens it up well. It's a little bit of a slip by James Ward-Prowse in the build-up, but he just leans underneath it really, and it's comfortable for Ramsdale. He just has to watch that one by, but probably should say he should have done better there. He got himself into the right area of the pitch, but the finish was lacking.
Yeah, it was a decent first touch on his lap, and he just sort of swings a right boot at it.
I think he rushed it, is what happened really there. He managed to do all right until the finish, and I think he knows, looking at the expression on his face, he should have done better.
Had a decent goal-scoring return in Serie A for Sassuolo this past season. Got about 18 goals, 16 or 18, something like that, and obviously he's earned the opportunity for the national team off the back of his club form, but it doesn't convince as a finisher for me. He's got some nice touches outside the box, though. Well, he's seen too many of those as England work it to Grealish off the left. He comes in on his stronger right foot. Got Di Lorenzo for company, now played wide to James. James going to take on DiMarco on the outside. Still going to the byline, lifts across high to the back post. Sterling trying to find some room, but it's headed away by Gatti. Picked up by Mount. Knocked back to Trippier, corner of the penalty box. Now loose touch from Sterling gives it away, and Italy can knock it clear.
I think Sterling knew he wasn't going to beat the man mounting Gatti there in the 6-yard box as it came across. He thought about going for the header. He decided his talents were better used elsewhere, and that was the right call. Gatti, debutant, strong underneath the crossbar, heads away, clears.
Yeah, been a couple of chances like that created from the right-hand side. First one by Mount, second one by James, and the cross just hasn't quite been precise enough, has it? Final ball there for England, especially with those giant Italian centre-backs there towering over England's tiny Sterling by comparison. It's going to be a throw-in to Italy inside the England half now with about 2 minutes left in the half.
Italy just edging the way up the field. You feel they're trying to bring in Scamacca a little bit more. I wonder if he'll survive the call at half-time. He's not really had too many chances to showcase his talent. Italy, thankfully from an England perspective, haven't had the ball in that attacking zone too much, but I think both sides, both managers now with the games coming thick and fast will not hesitate to amp up the switches at half-time. And so it could be an interesting one for me and you, as commentators. But I think players now will have it in the back of their heads in these next few minutes now, knowing that this could be their final chance.
Headed away by Trippier. It comes back to Fratesi. He was winding up for a shot, but Grealish got to him pretty quickly there and closed him down. Tries to keep that ball in. Linesman's flag does stay down, although Italy were protesting, so England can knock it back via Tomori. And then he pings a pass up towards Sterling. It's over his head, and Italy will pick up possession inside their own half again. A few longer shadows at Molineux now as Italy play it through midfield. Now Pellegrini off the left-hand side for the first time, linking it with Pessina. Pessina back to Pellegrini on the edge of the penalty area, back towards Pessina. Shooting opportunity on his left foot. Strong left foot is tipped over the bar by Ramsdale. They worked that really well, the Azzurri.
Well, he's done so well there to get that shot away, Pessina. 1, 2, 3, 4 white-shirted England defenders flying in the way of it. He manages to beat them all, and it's only a good save that keeps it out. It takes a massive deflection too off James Ward-Prowse. It was well watched by the England number one on the day. Gets a strong right hand to it, but Italy attacking, coming good right at the death, it seems. Yeah,
they're going to finish the first half with a corner from the right-hand side with Pellegrini, the right-footed player, to take it. Down by the corner flag there, looks like Kalvin Phillips warming up. Phillips, of course, who started against Germany, had to come off very early on. Is a deep corner, aimed to the back post, headed away by Rice, and then Ward-Prowse knocks it further on. Played back in by Fratesi. Rice is there to repel it once more. Drops to DiMarco, who bounces off Sterling, puts the cross in himself. This is up in the air from Maguire. And now Tammy Abraham helping out in defence. Maguire takes charge and nods it further clear. And England finally, it was a mistake there by Grealish to get in a tangle with a teammate, and a shot is blocked by Tomori. A follow-up effort is saved by Ramsdale, and England guilty of procrastinating in their own penalty area there, and Ramsdale bailed them out once more.
Good shot from Locatelli as well. He caught it on the volley as it spun out of the air, and the goalkeeper didn't have much time to react to that. There was a lot of bodies to see that through. Got down to his right-hand side, made the save, but England making all their own problems there. It does end up being the last play of the half, but Ramsdale certainly keeping England level, and it was Italy who was starting to hit the front foot in the final moments. We'll join you again in 15 minutes. The score in the game at Molineux, it's England 0, Italy 0. Italy. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway point in this Nations League encounter. Both sides have had chances with England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Fratesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Fratesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Fratesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Fratesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Fratesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Fratesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Fratesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Frattesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Fratesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Fratesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Fratesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. England 0, Italy 0 at the halfway stage in the Nations League. Both sides have had chances. Two much changed 11s going at it at Molineux. Manuel Locatelli should have put the Azzurri into the lead right on half-time. His shot from England's poor clearance, spinning right onto his right boot, hit it across goal. Ramsdale got down to it, kept England level. The Italians gave England a scare after 2 minutes. Davide Fratesi, and only a second cap, shooting wide from 6 yards out. Still all to play for. It's England 0, Italy 0. And you're back with Cameron Pope and Simon Barlow for the second half of this Nations League League A Group 3 clash between England and Italy. It's currently 0-0, and there don't seem to be any changes for either side. We'll go through those teams for you again in just a moment. Italy have kicked us off in this second half. They kick from right to left as we look. Look at it. Of Di Lorenzo, Gatti, Acerbi and Di Marco. Midfield sees Tonali line up with Fratesi and Locatelli. In the front three are Pellegrini, Pessina, the wide men, with Scamacca leading the line. England will go all the way back to the goalkeeper with their first spell of possession in this second half. Maguire, the man to do it. And some great double saves from Aaron Ramsdale twice in the last 5 minutes of that half. Kept England level after having dominated, you would say, in terms of chances created for much of the game. And so England have much to thank for their goalkeeper. And as I say that, he's giving it away in the centre of midfield, and Tonali should have done better to control it. And I was just about to come to you, Simon, there to ask about how pivotal he was to keeping England in it in the last few minutes. And as soon as I was about to hand over to you, well, Aaron Ramsdale picks out the only man in blue for 40 yards, and he gets very lucky that it wasn't worse for him.
Yeah, he wasn't ready for it, Tonali. I mean, he was looking in the other direction. I think they just pressed England and forced England to play it back to the goalkeeper, and then they weren't ready for the next phase, which is to try and pick off the pass from the goalkeeper. Yeah, he gets lucky there because Harry Maguire is on hand to bail him out when Tonali, his touch is poor.
47 gone, England 0, Italy 0. Couple of mistakes from either side, and there's another one from James Ward-Prowse as he passes to a blue shirt inside the centre circle. That blue shirt belongs to Pellegrini. And forward he comes now. There might be a shove on the edge of the box given away by Wright, who shot over the bar. Italy should have done better. It's scooped high and wide by Pessina. But what about the tackle from Rice as well? He might feel lucky here as he looks back at it. Italy were coming forward at pace. Great running from Pellegrini. Slotted the ball into the 18-yard box. And, well, I wonder if there's the ball rocked back and Pessina shot over the bar, if Rice might have been given called for a foul in back play as it built. But no, not for you, Simon.
I didn't say it that way. No, I think it's just a poor pass, an under-hit pass from Locatelli to Fratesi. Again, we've seen Fratesi running off the midfield and causing problems, but Rice, credit to him, stuck with him all the way. And when that pass was under-hit, he was there to intercept. However, it then came back to Pessina, who, from his usual ability with his left foot, will be disappointed with the shot he got away.
Well, there's something to remember for Federico Gatti on his first Italy appearance. He's got a yellow card for a foul as England have moved forward out of the midfield third. England have not wasted any time in bringing in Grealish on the left-hand side. A cross from the left, headed away by the blue-shirted defence. Rice will collect 30 yards out. Shares a pass with James Ward-Prowse. Halfway line, maybe a chance to work forward into an attacking position. Maguire is way off balance as he hits it, and it skies forward, bounces once before clearing the dead ball line. England 0, Italy 0, and the Azzurri will have a goal kick. We've seen the best and the worst of England in this game, and that was certainly in the latter category.
Yeah, he's trying to open the game up there by making a big crossfield pass, but just got it all wrong, and it sort of ballooned and almost, he did go pretty much into the stands behind the goal at Molineux.
And again, a short goal kick from Donnarumma threatens to bring a defence into peril. England not quite on the pace to snap that ball back, and it'll be cleared long towards halfway. Italy have a free kick on halfway now. Pellegrini being held, and the opposite. It's gone to England actually, and I wondered there for a second if it had been given to Pellegrini. It did seem to have been caught short, but it will be Maguire's ball as he sets it down on the halfway line. England 0, Italy 0. You're listening to Off-Tube Independent studio-based commentary, and the Manchester United man opts to take a quick one, then take stock of his surroundings, goes with a long crossfield ball. It's to no one in white. Italy will regain possession with Di Lorenzo. Comes inside to Gatti now, sporting the yellow card. Back to Di Lorenzo, been penned in that right-hand corner. All the way back to his goalkeeper. PSG man Donnarumma hits it long. Taken down out of the air by Ward-Prowse. 5 yards inside the Italy half. Given away though, and the Azzurri will ship the ball forward. Maybe something to chase here. Pellegrini coming for it. Ramsdale quickly out of his penalty area. Chests well. Loses his balance in the clearance. It doesn't affect the accuracy, and England are pouncing on the counter. Mount almost stealing in after the away-win header from Gatti. Takes a heavy touch. It goes through to the goalkeeper. Remains on 50 minutes. England 0, Italy 0.
Yeah, nice idea from Pessina. He spotted the run from midfield and chipped it over the top. He won a header against Rice just moments before that, and he's having a really effective game off the right-hand side, all left foot, but he is causing a few problems.
Tonali out to the right-hand side. Italy building now. Can England hold off? Tonali again gets the right-footed cross in. It's going to come across the edge of the penalty area. Headed away before it gets to DiMarco. England will win it back. Now Reece James has some license to roam. Can he work his way forward? Brings it into Raheem Sterling. Centre circle, twists away from Tonali. Never seems to be far from the action, that one. Out to the left-hand side. Now Jack Grealish, and he's running at Di Lorenzo. Turns into his right foot. Grealish scoops it across there at the edge of the penalty area. Might have been a poor ball, but James was alert to it. Keeps it alive on the byline. Cuts it back to Ward-Prowse. Poor touch from him. Regains his composure to find Mason Mount, but Italy have got bodies across, and England forced further away from goal. Rice picks it up now back in the centre circle. Can't seem to find a way forward, and the pace has gone completely out of that attack. England send it all the way back towards halfway.
Just a lack of precision there from England on that attack. When Jack Grealish got it, he dribbled to the edge of the box, spotted there was some space for James to run onto the ball, but he just didn't get the weight of the pass or the direction of the pass right, and the momentum went.
51.5 minutes gone. England 0, Italy 0 in this Off-Tube Independent studio-based commentary. Jack Grealish trades a pass with Abraham, chips out to the right-hand side. Now Reece James. Reece James with the cross towards the back post. Oh, everyone's missed it. And Raheem Sterling sporting the armband for England. It falls to him at the back post. He gets right underneath it. Half the goal at his mercy. The chance there for the taking. And he puts it over the bar. It remains England 0, Italy 0, and I'm not sure how.
Easier to score than miss. He's been guilty of a few misses in his Manchester City career, hasn't he? I remember one at Burnley at the back post where it seemed easy to score, and he put it wide. And this is an absolute gimme, and he's put it over the bar.
It's reminiscent of high-profile misses in the Champions League, right at the back post. All he had to do was strike it home. Maybe in his defence, you could say that Tammy Abraham was more expected to get that touch that flashed across goal, but a striker or a forward, at least, of his nous and experience should have been anticipating, you might argue. Either way, remains goalless. England with the biggest chance of the game for either side, I think we can safely say. And Italy's sheet remains clean. England give it away now 45 yards out from goal. Reece James, the guilty party, and there's a battle on with Ward-Prowse to win it back, and he's taking it off Pellegrini. It's extremely well there. Works it out towards halfway, and Italy meeting their match in midfield, you might say. And there's a little bit of a kick out there or so, it seems, on Tammy Abraham, or has he just gone down holding his ankle? I want to see a rerun of this, but he's in some real pain, the Roma man. And he was locked in a confrontation down the line. I want to say that maybe he had a little bit of a nibble with a Cherby, and he's just twisted his ankle as he goes into the ground. And this is a slight worry for England. He does look have the look of a man who's going to try and run it off, but it's a painful one as he slips on the touch line in front of the technical area of Gareth Southgate. Remains England 0, Italy 0.
Yeah, I think England's still a bit lopsided. The right-hand side is a really good avenue, and it's produced all the best opportunities for England so far. That last one from the delivery from James was slightly different to the previous deliveries, which have been aerial. This time he's driven it in low to the back post, and Sterling has to score. But it's evident how England are so imbalanced in their attacking, that all the penetrative moves come down the right, and down the left there is very little. They don't get around the back. There is no natural left footer on that side. You've got Trippier, a right-footed fullback. You've got Grealish, a right-footed winger, and it's noticeable there's just nothing coming on the outside down that side.
Italy edging forward. A bit of good fortune for England as a ricochet brings it into the path of Rice, though. He can clear. 54 gone. No score at either end. What can he now conjure up, the West Ham man? Has Grealish on the left-hand side. Grealish looking to hit the line. Cuts it back. Now Rice again. Rice trying to work his way into the attacking third. Back to Grealish, left edge of the penalty area. He's up against Di Lorenzo. Twists and turns. Gets it down the line. Mason Mount with the cross. Hits the first man. It's a poor one from England. And back out to Trippier once again. Mount will once more try down the left-hand side. This time he's up against sterner opposition in Locatelli. It's cut back and James Ward-Prowse has to juggle it into Jack Grealish, edge of the penalty area. Plays it forward to Abraham. Can he turn, get a shot away? Yes, he can. It's straight to the goalkeeper, though. It was Raheem Sterling, should I say. I beg your pardon. He turned just inside the penalty area. Found himself in that unnatural striker's forward position. Turned himself away from the defender, shot through the legs of Cherby, straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. It remains 0-0.
Yeah, Ward-Prowse is quietly bossing this game from midfield. And again, when the ball falls to him, great first touch, finds Grealish. Grealish instantly looking for his club colleague there, Sterling, who has to turn in the box, but he gets the shot away. This time it's on target and forces the save, but lacked venom and lacked precision again there in the finish.
So still goalless. Plenty of chances for either side. There has been a goal in one of the games this evening. 7:45 game, should I say, involving a home nation, and Yuri Tielemans has scored for Belgium. That against Wales. Of course, there were goals in the meeting of the other two of the other British Isles nations. Republic of Ireland beating Scotland by 3-0 earlier on. Northern Ireland in action tomorrow. On Italy, slight concern because Raheem Sterling's confrontation with Dimarco has left the latter on the floor, and it's easy to see when looking at the replay that the Manchester City man had an arm across the collarbone, at least, of Dimarco. He's gone down holding his face, but either way, it will be a free kick to Italy, and they'll start again on the edge of their defensive third. Back to the goalkeeper it will go. A bit of something and nothing there or so it seemed, maybe a little bit of a play acting, but a man of Raheem Sterling's experience in the international game should know not to go giving away cheap free kicks, you would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was an opportunity there because the Italian defender got sucked over to the right-hand side, and there was a big gap sort of towards the middle and over the left. The delivery was not bad, but he was in a one-on-one with Gatti, and he just tried to sort of block the defender from getting to the ball, and by doing so, he's blocked him off across the neck and the face, and he's gone down on the free kick. But the way that England created that opportunity, and the way that Italy was so badly out of position, does make you think that there's some space to exploit in this second half.
There's quite a game brewing between the Netherlands and Poland. Poland had taken 2-0 lead just after the break following Matty Cash's first goal in Polish colours. Well, Davy Klaassen and Denzel Dumfries have scored 2 in 5 minutes to level that one up. No such drama in the game at Molineux that we're covering. England 0, Italy 0. The Italians have it on halfway. Pellegrini is wrestled down to the ground by Reece James, who turns and gives a stern look to Simon Marciniak, the Polish referee. Not sure he could have had too much recourse there. And a free kick to the Italians it will be. They will go backwards, though, into their own half. 57 gone, trying to edge their way forward. And what's missing now, do you think, Simon, for England? Looking to the bench, what sort of options can Gareth Southgate call on to kind of find that missing element?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to see if we've got a left footer because I don't think we have. And it's an obvious deficiency that when the ball goes onto that left-hand side, not even a fullback to overlap. Here's Grealish again, dribbling right-footed to the edge of the box, tries to slip it to Mount. I mean, credit to Grealish and Mount. They're keeping their positions, they're staying out though, but when they get into those delivery areas, it doesn't come in with any whip. They're sort of almost playing it back 45 degrees back to the edge of the box, and Italy are set up for that. So, we're crying out for a left footer, but we haven't got one.
Declan Rice is penalised on the edge of the attacking third, and there's more food for thought for Gareth Southgate now. Steadily, furiously scribbling in his notepad as the side play out to stalemate in front of him. Halfway, Acerbi slips the ball forward to Tonali. He'll have it back. And the Lazio man finds his Frosinone counterpart Gatti. Switches one out to the right-hand side. Italy forced back to halfway once again, but they'll keep possession. Locatelli chips down the line, looking for Pessina. England saw it coming, though, picked off by Rice. Now Grealish can run it over halfway. Wide on the left is a chance for Abraham to do some damage. He's taking up a wider position in this second half than in the first. Quick 1-2, now he's into the penalty area and he gets an awkward ricochet right off him. It's a painful one that he's copped, I think, in the face. Yeah. It's going to go for a goal kick. That's going to be the end result of that ball. But it was a clearance that caught him right in the chops just after a heavy touch that he couldn't do too much about. And it's the clearance from Fratesi that's clocked him right in the face. And it flies away for a corner. I think bless him both sides. Bless him. We're just going to check that he's okay. He's also fallen on the edge of the penalty area. So he's got chalk all the way up his left arm. He looks a sorry state, and I think the moral of the story there is try to keep the ball on the deck, because as soon as it leaves your grasp there, that's what you run the risk of doing. It's England 0, Italy 0, coming up to the hour mark. Still neither side able to get their noses ahead, but we've seen plenty of action at either end, and it just has the feeling of two sides who, again, are cancelling each other out. I found myself making the same comment at the same period of the first half, and both have made chances. Both have made errors as well, is what we're starting to see. And I guess this is what you can expect when you see 15 changes made in all to the starting 11s. But it's hard to say really now, and we always run the risk as commentators of cursing ourselves here, but it's hard to say really which boxer is ahead on points at this stage of the contest.
Yeah, I agree. It's like a 50-50, isn't it? I think I'm just kind of waiting for Roberto Mancini to pull off the tactical masterstroke, that defeats Gareth Southgate from the bench, really, like he did in the Euros final when he went split strikers and Southgate had no answer. England on top in that game at Wembley until Mancini decided to make a dramatic tactical shift that essentially got Italy back in and won them the game, albeit via the dreaded penalty shootout. No penalty shootout to decide this, but I feel as though Mancini's got something up his sleeve.
Well, penalty might be the only way we're going to get a goal in this contest. Yeah. You might just feel, but half an hour still for that to change as Grealish tries to slip a ball forward looking for Tammy Abraham. And Tammy Abraham can't quite get his control into the end of it, and he's got something to say to the Polish referee there. I think he thinks he was being held as he was dispossessed. And how much now does this fluid role in the attacking third kind of benefit him, really? The license to play down the side, in the centre. How much now room as he just fails to get onto the end of that pass, does it give him now to try and operate? And will that play into his strength, do you think?
Well, I think England do need a penalty box presence. And, when chances are falling to others, we've seen them unable to take them. I think he needs to recognise that, okay, he's a mobile striker and he can do a job for the team by running the channel. But really, in terms of how he's going to force his way into Gareth Southgate's plans, it's score the goal, be on the end of the opportunity that gets created by others. And I think he needs to get that balance right. He's doing a lot of work outside the box, needs to be where the ball is to finish it.
Here comes Grealish down the left-hand side. Tries to cut inside the defender, does so, goes to the ground. Can't quite find the composure to get the pass away to Sterling as he's knocked off the ball. Good play from the Manchester City man, the former, on the way to try and find Sterling, but it doesn't come off. The Italians will try and clear long. England waiting for an offside flag that doesn't come. Scamacca, 35 yards out, with a back heel. Finds his man Pessina. Pessina's got room to aim for here. 18-yard box. 3 now England shirts around him. He cuts it backwards. Still trying to find a way through. Pellegrini. Left edge, chips over the top. Might be a chance here. Can they cut it across goal? Oh, it's just found itself around the post, and Ramsdale is furious. A, with his defence. B, with the assistant referee, who he believes should have raised the offside flag. Italy wonder how the ball hasn't ended up in the net. It's England 0, Italy 0.
England fell to sleep there. Italy masters at spotting when to make the run, and Di Lorenzo has crept up there, unseen by Trippier, who gets attracted to the players in the middle. And it's a lovely pick out to the back post. Trippier is really struggling there. Gets some kind of challenge in, but again, Di Lorenzo has a play at the ball at the near post, and somehow the pressure that England applied got it behind for the corner. Now Italy are going to make a double change. Whether they'll wait until after the corner remains to be seen, but they're going to send on the young forward Gnonto, who impressed actually against Germany. And it looks like Esposito is going to come on as well.
Here comes the corner from the far side. Out swinging. There is an Italian head on the end of it, but it's going to be hooked away after Gatti got in the initial touch. England will try and stem the flow as the Italians look to come back at them. Di Marco is forced back towards halfway. Italy will keep possession, but in the sacrifice of 30 yards of possession, and then it's a clumsy foul given away by the furthest forward white shirt of Tammy Abraham as he clunks in on his endeavours to get the ball back, so Italy will restart play with a free kick 45 yards out from goal. But we will now have this double change, and it's going to be Wilfred Gnonto of FC Zurich. And joining him will be Salvatore Esposito of Spal. Wait to see who makes way, and Manuel Locatelli is the first such change. The Juve man, in his 24th game for the Azzurri, will be replaced by Gnonto. We'll wait to see who the second change will be, but it's the first changes of any kind we've had in this game so far. We've stuck with the initial 11s for over an hour.
Yeah.
Makes a sign of the cross as he comes on. It's going to be Pellegrini to make way for Salvatore Esposito.
Yeah, Gnonto did well off the bench against Germany, where he was a real menace in terms of the way he held the ball up, won free kicks, helped his team get out of defence, when they were defending deep, and he was a good outlet ball. Looks like he won't be in Swiss football for long. I think the ex-Inter youth player, I think, will get picked up by a Serie A team soon enough. And yeah, when you look at the clubs that these substitutes coming off, Esposito from Spal, I mean, they really are digging deep, aren't they, in Italian football to find, the next generation of internationals.
The player who needs no introduction coming on for England now, Harry Kane. He finds his way wearing number 20, which is always a very weird sight, isn't it? Seeing that, there's been care put into making sure that the starting 11s have those 1 to 11 numbers. And Calvin Phillips is going to replace Declan Rice. He's the second change. About 64.5 minutes. Still England 0, Italy 0. Phillips sporting number 18. Comes on, we're going to have another change as well. We're going to have Mason Mount replaced by Jared Bowen. And the last two still looking for the first England goal. Harry Kane has quite a few of them.
Yeah,
25 minutes to find one now.
50 to be precise. That half century brought up in Munich via the penalty, which he won. Here come Italy, though.
Down the left-hand side, indeed. Here they come. DiMarco gets to the byline, crosses it across goal. Oh, it's anyone's ball. It's going to land towards the back post. They'll be headed half clear. England scrambling through Trippier to get it out wide. Grealish goes down under the challenge from Di Lorenzo. It's Italy's turn to give away a soft free kick, and England will be very happy about that. They have a chance to clear their lines after they were hit with the pace down the left-hand side. The cross to the back post was awkward and skied into the air by Trippier. Managed to get something on it. Remains England 0, Italy 0.
Yeah, good to see Calvin Phillips back in an England shirt after what looked like a serious-ish injury that forced him off in Munich, but he's only a few days later back in the fold, and 25 minutes to kind of re-establish himself as a first-choice midfielder. He's kind of been bypassed, hasn't he, by Jude Bellingham. Strong display, I thought, coming off the bench in Germany. And James Ward-Prowse has done well in this game as well. Perhaps just a month or two ago, you'd have said Calvin Phillips absolutely nailed on for the England World Cup squad. Well, he's got some competition now.
He certainly does. So we have 24 minutes left to play. Still England 0, Italy 0. Can't seem to find a way through to break the deadlock either side. Goodness knows we've had chances for both. In the other game in this group, it's Hungary 1, Germany 1. That stayed the same for most of that game. In fact, it's been 2 goals in the opening 9 minutes, and we haven't seen much action since. I know how they feel. Netherlands 2, Poland 2 is still the latest score, and Wales still trail Belgium by a Yuri Tielemans goal to 0 as England come forward. Gareth Bowen, first meaningful contribution from him is to steal the ball from DiMarco. Forward he comes. Bowen, what a story this would be. Out to the left-hand side. Grealish into the penalty area now. Too many blue shirts in the way. It's going to be cut back, and the shot from distance is wide. And connected well by Ward-Prowse, but it was a long way wide in the end. Just seemed to steer away from the critical angle. It's out for a goal kick. It remains England 0, Italy 0.
Yeah, Bowen, instant impact from him. Managed to get it forward and deliver a ball to Grealish. Again, Grealish so intent on coming inside and not going on the outside of his defender. And it just reduces the Italy have got massed ranks in the middle. And by his reluctance to go on the outside, it just reduces the sort of angle and the field that England have got to work with and makes it easy for Italy to defend. So that's still a problem that hasn't really been addressed by Gareth Southgate here.
Italy still keen on the short goal kicks. This one doesn't cause many problems, though. It's short to Gatti, who fires it long. And it does beg the question why that couldn't have been the initial choice from the goalkeeper. Phillips plays a cross-field ball. Ambitious, but it's found Bowen. He's now got something to do there to find an England shirt. He twists and turns and runs up against DiMarco. Bowen plays it straight against DiMarco. That will be a ricochet that favours the Italians. And they'll play them way out of danger down the left-hand side. Twisting and turning and trying to get away is Frattesi. And Bowen is doing everything he can to keep his man penned in the corner. 67.5 gone, still 0-0. Italy will clear up towards halfway. What can they conjure up now? Scamacca is forced down to ground. It's going to be a free kick conceded by Maguire, frustrated with himself. 22 to go. England 0, Italy 0. And I was hoping there might have been some goals in the second half to tell you about. I'm going to hope that Simon Barlow has a little bit more luck. We're halfway through the second half of this off-tube independent studio-based commentary. Simon, mate, over to you.
Thanks. Yeah, David Platt watching on the former England assistant boss. He's got his son next to him as well. Looks an absolute younger spitting image in the Molineux stands. Of course, had a long and distinguished career in Italy with clubs like Bari and Sampdoria. I think maybe even at Juventus. I got that one wrong, actually. But he was a colleague of Roberto Mancini, probably on guest tickets from the Italian FA more than the English FA. He's probably still quite close to Mancini as Italy have the ball and send a long back pass to Di Lorenzo, and he heads it back to Donnarumma. And with Kane on the field, you feel as though England have now got a bit more oomph in their attack as ball's brought out of defence by Acerbi. And now the fullback Di Marco has skipped past Bowen and played the ball up towards the front man. There's been a foul by Bowen on Di Marco. Referee had a good view of that one. He almost had eyes in the back of his head because he was watching where the ball went, but he watched the... In fact, no, it wasn't Bowen. It was Phillips who caught Di Marco. And the fact that Di Marco yelped out also helped the referee make that decision. So we've got a free kick to Italy now.
I've been really impressed with Di Marco, actually. Interman's done really well on the left-hand side. I think he's found his range at times in the game. He's not afraid to run at defenders too, and it has caused England a few problems.
Yeah, it's a chance here for Gnonto in the box. Gnonto turning, getting a good ball in at the near post, and I'm not sure if Ramsdale saved that. I don't think he did, but it was a dangerous effort, dangerous moment there, and Gnonto receives it on the half-turn. He's not picked up by any England defender or midfielder. Allowed to have a shot on goal.
Well, England have afforded him far too much room there, and maybe comes as part of playing for a Swiss outfit. A little bit less known about him, but he's no less of a threat, and England might find that out to their peril if they afford him a huge turning circle like that in the penalty area. Give him the ball on the right-hand side. He thought, okay, I've got license to turn here. He was lucky in the end. Maybe you could say he should have hit the target. It was a tough angle, but that's another let-off for England and a bit of a wake-up call. Yeah,
he played for FC Zurich, the Swiss champions this past season, and he wasn't short on goals for them. We've got a throw-in on the far side for Italy, which has gone in towards Scamacca. He tries to turn the England defender who come with him. Tomori, it's back pass to Ramsdale, who knocks it clear. Again, Di Marco collects. Then there's a missed kick by Fratesi. Challenge with Phillips, which Italy win. And now it's knocked back to Acerbi. Acerbi, no ambition to play it forward, goes back to his keeper. And again, he's so willing to pass the ball through England lines there. Donnarumma gets it to Esposito, and then it's cleared by Acerbi up to the halfway. Scamacca wins the flick on, or can't find a teammate. Tomori picks it up, finds Grealish. Grealish scurrying back into the centre circle, slips, then gets back to his feet. And Pessina can't nick the ball off him. Grealish hogging the ball a little bit, but playing it square to Grealish. Playing it square to Maguire. Grealish to Grealish, that'd be an interesting one. He's got it back again. And England just going nowhere. The Italian covering in midfield is stopping their progress. Now, Kane's come all the way back into a deep lying midfield position to link up with Bowen. Back to Maguire again. Now, James on to Bowen. Takes it on the half turn. Delivers it back to the Chelsea man, who's tightly marked by two Italian players. Maguire having to scrape it down the line under pressure. It's gone out for an Italy throw.
We're not seeing that constant barrage of England chances that maybe we saw in the first period between minute 10 and minute 40, when then after which it kind of went Italy's way in the momentum stakes. Italy kind of got a bit wise now, you feel, to Gareth Southgate. Not the first time we've ended up saying that either.
Kane gives it away. Sterling putting his back in, has won it back. It was poor from Gatti. Now Grealish has it. He's got overlap on the outside for the first time from Ward-Prowse. Back heels it to Sterling in the penalty area. Sterling takes it on, gets across it. No, it's blocked by Di Lorenzo, and the ball falls kindly for Pessina to run it clear. But just for a moment, England finally went on the outside on the left-hand side.
Just looked a little bit stretched out at Italian defence. Couldn't get across quick enough. England have players queuing up. Need to see more of that if they're going to get into those attacking areas. Still lacking that killer threat, though, that final touch. We've only seen that one real chance where, from improbable range, Raheem Sterling scooped over the bar, where he had to say that England should definitely have scored. And it seems to be no problem in getting it to the 18-yard box, at least for large swathes of this game, but still struggling to get past that final barrier. And the fact now that Italy have got so many men between the England ball in midfield and the edge of their penalty area suggests now that the chances are going to be fewer and further between. Need to start creating some concrete outlets. That is what you believe that maybe the introduction of Kane will lend itself to. A bit more belief in the players behind him as well, that England might be able to find that goal, as well as his raw talent too. At the moment, not quite paying dividends, but still 17 minutes left, still a chance for England.
Yeah, it's gone back to Maguire. And then Ward-Prowse steals in there before Scamacca can tip it away. Gets it back again, the Southampton man. Lots of speculation that he could be on the move from the South Coast this summer. He wasn't really denying it, although he wasn't really adding any credence to those reports that have linked him to either West Ham or Tottenham in his pre-match interviews. But performances like the one tonight against, maybe a slightly weaker Italy than in years gone by, certainly will maybe add to the sort of the attraction of signing a Ward-Prowse at this sort of latter stage of his career.
I think now that you look at Ward-Prowse in this England midfield, and you think, okay, is this a man that can hold his own? Does he bring more than this? Oh, we're going to break off here because he's just working forward here. Jared Bowen really well, but he's cutting away from the fence. I think I can attack now. I think I can go back into it, lauding heaping the praises on James Ward-Prowse. I think that he was always someone you looked at for the World Cup squad and thought, maybe is he just someone with a few set pieces in his arsenal? I think he has exhibited a little bit more than that though.
Yeah,
in this wave of games.
He's putting a good display. It's given away by Tomori, but nothing coming from that Italian move down the right-hand side. And Mancini gets off the bench and sort of looks a little bit disgruntled with the final ball of his team there.
Again, neither manager can be too disappointed yet too unhappy. Both have created chances in either half, but also the laxness at the back, the individual errors are something that needs to be cut out. But I guess that's part and parcel of international football when you are blooding so many young players. And again, that is the risk now of young players and experienced players at international level. And that is the risk now of having a 4-game international window. It's impossible to have your best players playing at full throttle every day, in every match for 90 minutes each time, especially after a jam-packed season too. And so this is maybe what we've got to temper our expectations for a little bit more in the Nations League.
England got it again on the halfway line. Ward-Prowse with a crossfield switch out towards Trippier. He's pushed up there with Di Lorenzo in attendance. Tries to slip it inside to Grealish, but Gatti was there to intercept, and it's back with Sterling. Now Ward-Prowse again. I think he's wasted a pass tonight, finding Phillips, the substitute. Then wide to Trippier again. Back it goes. England recycling possession. Phillips. Grealish. Back it goes to Maguire. Advances to the edge of the box. Tries to chip it out to the man in space, which is Trippier. Trippier's got 2 blue shirts around him. Plays it forward. Grealish wasn't on the same wavelength, and Gatti can just shepherd that one behind for a goal kick.
Gatti does well there as well. Just it's a little bit of a shove as the ball trickles over the byline. I think that he can be happy with his debut so far. I think he also knows that he might be about to come off. He's had a bit of a cuddle with Donnarumma as he as they wait for Raspadori to come on. In fact, I wonder if they might have been going for defender for an attacker. Maybe there'll be more changes to come. That would have been the statement, but no, it is going to be Raspadori for Scamacca in the end. And I think disappointing from him. He had chances in the first half there that could have led to his first goal in Italian colours. Not a bad game for him, but we'll see what his replacement Raspadori can do from the bench.
Yeah, he looks like a totally different type of striker, doesn't he? He looks more nimble, more mobile, and we'll see if he's got any sort of penalty box presence, as England are going to send on Bukayo Saka shortly as well. So this might be finally a left footer to maybe just create a little bit of threat on the outside of the right full back. Gnonto's gone down, won another free kick. He's very good at that. Pressure from Trippier there. The Polish referee just towards a free kick to Italy. There's a bit of wagging of the finger in the face of Jack Grealish there for something or other, as the England coaching staff just get the instructions to Bukayo Saka, who's putting his shin pads on and getting ready to come on. England trying to close down. DiMarco knocks it back to Acerbi. One of the central defenders plays it carefully back to DiMarco. Nothing doing in front of him, so he goes back to the central defender, pressed by Kane, but worked back to Donnarumma. He then plays it into Esposito. First time layoff back to Acerbi. Acerbi wide to DiMarco, closed down by Bowen. Now attempted turn there from Fratesi, doesn't come off. James was ready for that. The ball's given away by England. Kane tried to make something of it. Pessina got back. It's gone scrappy. It's very central. It's not much happening at the moment, and feels like this has got 0-0 written all over it.
It really does, and I'm hoping this might be a curse to the commentator. Maybe spark the game into life a little bit. Maybe that's what we're aiming for here, a bit of a catharsis with 12 minutes to go. As the tempo has steadily died away in this second half, maybe the injection of fresh legs may change that, but neither side has been able. Okay, the best way you can dress this up is to say that neither side has been able to outfight the other. Well, there's been plenty of effort from both sides, but I think also a lack of quality in the final third is why we have an even game at 0-0.
Yeah. The Italian defence have been well set up by Mancini, which is no surprise, really. Even though there's a team of no names or very few established international names, they've had a platform to build off, and now Kane has a chance to run at Acerbi. Into the penalty area he goes, but he's crowded out with Di Lorenzo getting back, knocks it back to Grealish, edge of the box. Can he create from here? Goes square to Kane. Kane chips it into Sterling, linking up with him. Sterling with a chance. Kane with a snapshot over the bar. He was stretching for it in the penalty area. It goes flying over into the seats.
Well, that's the advantage that he can bring for England now. He knows time and time again how to get into these attacking regions of the pitch. Quick feet as well. Gets a little bit of a good fortune. It hit the backside of Raheem Sterling. Comes back to Harry Kane. You create your own look, I guess you say. That's going to be Sterling's final contribution of the game. But he got himself into the right area there, Harry Kane. Couldn't get the finish on the end of it. But still, more promising from England. Still, though, Italy look rather comfortable and are forcing England to off-target shots. And we still seem no nearer to getting that opening goal.
So Bukayo Saka's come on and gone over to the right-hand side. Jared Bowen has now moved into the middle. England looking maybe to go 4-4-2 or certainly a bit more attacking with Bowen pushed into a central area. Sterling replaced. He had England's best chance of the game with that far post opportunity, which he skied. Now Phillips does well in a tight area and brings it forward. Tries to chip a ball out to the left, but it's not great delivery and nodded back to Donnarumma. Got just over 10 minutes left at Molineux, and well, I think the England fans probably glad that they're missing this one in terms of being there present for it, because it hasn't really lit up the famous old ground. This game played by Donnarumma, and wrestling match going on there between substitute Raspadori and Tomori, which the England man has won. Now Maguire knocks it back to goalkeeper Ramsdale. He takes a touch and clips the ball out to the right, looking for Bukayo Saka. He won't get his first touch, though. The ball's over his head, and Arsenal link up there as it goes out for an Italy throw.
If this does stay 0-0 and it is another failed attempt to win for England, 3 from 3, then I think it does make the question of how do they tackle the remainder of this Nations League cycle. You look at Italy now and you think, okay, after the shock defeat to Hungary, in which Hungary played a strong game of football in, does make you wonder now. Italy was probably, I thought, the biggest opportunity to kickstart this campaign. It's a side who, okay, we know they've had recent glories, but also major failures on the international stage, and they're now going through a transitory phase where they're looking down the leagues and through Serie A, and they've gone to the Swiss league as well. As we see a flying tackle come in back play, and I was just going to say it would have been an opportunity for England, but they seem to be creating their own problems at the same time.
Sloppiness in defence has resulted in a yellow card for James Ward-Prowse. Not his sloppiness. He was trying to rescue the situation by sliding in there, but he's a little bit late and kicks Pessina, who again yelps and twists on the ground. He does the full helicopter there on the deck, Pessina, from a tiny little kick to the back, but made the most of it, and he's got Ward-Prowse booked there.
I don't know, it was enough to make me wince actually seeing it. I don't know if it was a slow motion, but it certainly looked as if Ward-Prowse was going for the ball and taking whatever came with him with it. And I think he's felt the full force of it. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I'm looking for things with 8 minutes to go, but certainly looked painful to me.
Taking the free kick short, Dimarco tries to bang it into the box. It's blocked by Phillips, comes back, and Esposito has got no ambition but to play the way he's facing, which is back towards his own goal with a 60-yard back pass. Pressure from Saka before Donnarumma clears back into the England half. Tomori heading it down. It will fall to Kane, who knocks it back to Phillips. Phillips pass well read, though. Gnonto had a chance there, but Trippier's in on his touch, and now it's cleared up towards James. James tries to get his head down and get into the Italy half, but good strong work from Tonali has forced him backwards. It just seems like this match is deadlocked at the moment, with chances actually becoming fewer and further between as the game goes on. Maybe fatigue has also set in as well. There's been a few subs, but haven't really made a difference.
I think all the Nations League games seem to be the same way, especially in this upper tier. We've seen no change in the 2-2 between Netherlands and Poland, no change in the 1-1 in this group between Hungary and Germany, and Wales still trail Belgium. It seems we've all packed up for the night.
Yeah. Just a game that's fizzling out at Molineux, I'm afraid, as Harry Maguire shows no great ambition to get this throw in quickly back into play either. He's going to throw it a little bit further down the line for James to restart. Chelsea man lobs it in towards Phillips, back to Maguire. Maguire down to James. James, no way forward, plays it back to Ramsdale. England are going to have to be a little bit more sparky in their passing, but Italy trying to press now with Gnonto on the far side, closing down Trippier. And he goes back to the goalkeeper again. Raspadori eases off and will allow England to pass it out from Ramsdale to Maguire, two former Sheffield United players, and then Phillips back to Tomori. England was dropping to a snail's pace at the moment, and there's no great tempo to their game as Grealish is marked very tightly there by Di Lorenzo. Now Phillips trying to ping a ball over the top, seeking out the run of Bukayo Saka. He might get there, but Donnarumma's off his line quickly to gather.
Just seemed to curl into the path of the goalkeeper there as well, really. It's an allegory for the how this game has gone away from both sides. It just seemed for a moment like the Arsenal man might have had the pace in the legs. You'd want him in that position, but the ball just not quite holding up its part of the bargain, and it's a safe one in the end for Donnarumma.
Given away by Italy. Grealish trying to dribble forward, plays it square to Phillips. Now good run from James is spotted, but the pass is behind him. DiMarco comes to try and cover any chance. It's played out of play by James. DiMarco's mere threat of closing him down there was enough to put him off. It'll be an Italy throw, but now DiMarco's gone down with cramp.
Disappointing there. Not seen the best of Reece James, I don't feel, in this second half, but I think it's unfair to single him out. England haven't really been on the pace, and I was encouraged by by up to the 40th minute marker how they played in the first half. Plenty of creativity. Okay, not enough cutting edge in front of goal, and they allowed Italy back in towards the end of the half. Will allow them that for the dominance waves of that first period, but in the second, it's been disappointing from both sides. Neither really is thrown down the gauntlet or stamp their authority on this game, and that's why we're trickling to an anticlimactic conclusion. We've got to hope for something from this final 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to hope for. I'm going to hope that you can find a man of the match in about 4 minutes.
So, no, this is the big question.
Yeah,
referee?
Not going to be easy. Maybe a sub can come on and poke a goal in or something like that. But Italy have it now at the back with a Serbi. DiMarco plays it further down the line. James intercepted. Back to Bukayo Saka, who's coming into his own half to try and create from deep now. Kane, surrounded by defenders, manages to wriggle away from that challenge and plays it back into space now for Bowen. Bowen running at the centre-back of Serbia into the penalty. He's got him backing off, but the ball just got stuck under his boot. And Italy, with numbers back, can get it away through DiMarco. Collected there briefly by Raspadori, but he's lost it on the touch. And now Maguire plays it back to Tomori, and he goes all the way back to Ramsdale.
Bowen's done well, I think, since he's come on. He's run at defenders. He's always had them with their back to goal. He's used his power and his pace to get forward into advanced areas. Not quite sure what happened to him there. I think it was as you described it, so I think the ball just stuck underneath his foot. He carried on his run, expected the ball to come with it, which it didn't. Disappointing for him. I think that he deserves something at least from the way he's been running at the players, but hasn't been able to really break through. And I think there's a stagnation around him. There's a lack of options. He's having to try to do it all himself to link up with Harry Kane and Italy. So far, have been wise to it.
Yeah, a couple of late changes here from Mancini now as England passed the ball out of play with loose defending there, and Mancini's got his hands around one of his subs. Ready
Looks
to
to be
come
Brian Cristante. He was ready to come on. The Roman man. It's not got long to make an impression now, but I feel if you get into it and hit the ground running, well, you can't really lose as a sub in this situation. There's very little. There's things you can do wrong, but you're not really expected to set the game alight with a few minutes to go. And so any chances that come your way, well, you've got your chance to plank yourself up the hierarchy for the game's coming still.
Mancini frustrated there as Italy lose the ball from their own throw-in. There's about 4 minutes to go, and this game cannot end soon enough, really, in terms of the dismay, this disappointing spectacle it's been for most of the second half. DiMarco's gone off to be replaced by Florenzi, and Pessina's going to be the one to come off here with Cristante introduced as well at this 86, 87 minute mark.
Well, vast experience for us, Alessandro Florenzi, coming on his 49th cap, only a couple of goals to his name, another of the AC Milan clan. And certainly brings some tactical know-how to these ranks. And with 3 minutes, he might just shore it up at the back. And we're going to see the opposite sort of change for England. Marc Guéhi is going to come on. on really at the start of his international career for another man for Kayo Tomori, who's looked measured, shall we say, in defence so far. And I guess it's just a case of getting more minutes into the legs of young players now.
Yeah, I think overall it's been a decent display from Tomori. He's sort of next cab on the rank, and another ex-Chelsea player who's finding a career for himself in the Premier League at Crystal Palace. Italy have played it back, all the way back now to Cristante. He's going to sit between the centre-backs. In fact, he's just coming short for the ball off Gatti, but Gatti's going to take it on himself and work it wide right. Di Lorenzo swapping passes with Gnonto. It's a nice layoff there from the substitute. Gatti trying to thread it through. It's stopped by Ward-Prowse, and then Di Lorenzo's pushed Grealish in the back. They've had a ding-dong battle all night, and Grealish is complaining the referee should have taken action there for that shove by Di Lorenzo. It's not going to be anything more than just a free kick, though.
No, I think really that free kick is what you want. Further than that, I think you're grasping, really. I think that Di Lorenzo knew he wasn't really getting much of the ball there, and Grealish is taking the tumble, and it shows his passion and his motivation is what we can glean from that, really. 90 seconds, he's still on at the referee, but really now I think we're just looking for things in this England game. It started to really peter out halfway through the second half, and it's shown no sign of abating, and now really it just seems that both sides are kind of going through the motions. No one's taking a big hit, no major injuries, no loss here, but really it's just one stage nearer to the conclusion of this cycle without either side setting the group on fire.
I don't think Jack Grealish has done his case of being a regular starter for England any help in this game. He's known as an impact player off the bench, and I think that's how Gareth Southgate completely views him. He's given him a chance tonight from the start, and I don't think he's really taken it.
I think it's been quite a stagnant game, really, and I know that the effort was there and he was trying. I think he'll feel that he's been singled out a little bit by Italy, and that is the way that you play against Jack Grealish. You have to get men on him at all times, as you saw it again, just there with Di Lorenzo, how he was pinned upon and the little nick to bring him down. That's how you really nullify his threat, and maybe it's just the case of the opposition being wise to him. Maybe Southgate's right, maybe there is just when you bring him on with his flair in the final 20 minutes of a game, that's what he can offer you. But if he's been played from the start in a game as he has done tonight, maybe that just it dents his sparkle just a little bit.
Yeah, England won a free kick here. It was a challenge between Di Lorenzo and Trippier, which resulted in a foul on the Newcastle man. So free kick over on the left-hand side. Looks like it's going to be made for Ward-Prowse to deliver, and maybe England can just conjure something up in stoppage time, as we just ticked over the 90 minutes now from a set piece. Ward-Prowse has got the ball in his hand. Maguire, Saka are offside at the moment, beyond the Italian line, holding about 2 yards outside the penalty area. We'll try and ensure they get back on before Ward-Prowse takes this, but Italy trying to ensure there is a big gap there between the England runners and Donnarumma, who's come out in a very aggressive position towards the edge of his 6-yard box. Here comes the cross in at the near post, headed behind by Cristante. Raspadori couldn't keep it in. England will have a corner.
Cristante had to make that header too because Harry Kane was right on line with that ball. He was due to meet it just inside the 6-yard box, and so I think the Roma man's done really well there to show the presence of mind to just get that ball safe, get it behind, and a big job now for James Ward-Prowse to try and find an England head from this corner.
It's going to be 3 minutes of stoppage time. England's second corner of the game in the 92nd minute, and it comes low near post. They haven't cleared it. Oh, there's a chance. There's a foul. That's why it looked so messy from Italy, because Calvin Phillips had gone near post and he kind of bundled the Italian defenders out of the way.
I think it was Raspadori he got in a tangle with at the front post. I'm not sure there was too much in it, to be honest with you, Simon. If I'm looking at it again, it seemed a very flat delivery, which left me scratching my head a little bit. I thought that Raspadori got to the ball first, and it looked to me as if Phillips had just picked his pocket and nipped that ball away from him, and then it just comes off the base of the post as Donnarumma comes across to block the cross come shot. That's how I interpret it. We're going to get another look at it now, and I don't know if there's too much movement there from the Leeds United man into the back of Raspadori there, but either way, he's gone down. Referee's seen it, and that's often the tack you see taken from referees with defenders in the box. Free kick Italy.
Gnonto, edge of the England penalty area now, taking it out wide, but lacking support. Tries to feed it back in. Could be a chance here. Di Lorenzo plays it back, and he's gone down too easily there. Is it Fratesi? And England clear. Last chance loom for England as Jared Bowen gets it. He's got runners left and right. Grealish is staying left. Now Bukayo Saka appearing right. Pressure on Bowen there from Tonali. The ball's, well, England would have wanted play on there because it went to Grealish, but the referee's already given the yellow card for Tonali's foul on Bowen. And your man of the match is...
Oh, that's a difficult one. I was just going to say that's really poor from Tonali. He will now miss the next game because he's copped another yellow card. And I tell you, it was a poor one as well there because I think that Bowen had nowhere to go. And now he's dumped his side right back in trouble after they just had to carve their way out of their own defensive third a moment ago. And so it just gives England a little bit of hope towards the last few minutes. I don't know where I'm going to give this man of the match. You know, it's a really difficult one. Maybe you could say Aaron Ramsdale for the saves he made and keeping England level in it. That's at least England's man of the match. I think that you look at Federico Di Marco perhaps as the Italian left back on the other side.
Here comes the free kick, played towards the back post, headed back in the penalty area by Maguire. England trying to create something there, but it's got very messy. And now there's a foul on Bowen, who goes down. Referee said, no, it's gone the other way. He's given the foul against Bowen for chopping down Gnonto. And the Italian players are all around the ref now wanting further action taken, but I think both players genuinely going for the ball. I saw it the other way.
Well, I wonder if it was maybe the high foot, but I don't think there's much that Bowen has done in that, really.
No.
Gnonto comes piling in, and Bowen comes off probably the worst as well. I think it has to be an England ball. I'm not sure what it's been given for. I think it's a disappointing one. It's probably going to be the last play of the game. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if this is finished off now. Bowen is incensed and rather confused as he gets up. I think they do want the free kick to be taken. It's only 10 yards outside the Italian box. Referee points to the centre mark. That will be the last action of a game that will not live long in the memory of England, of English and Italian fans. It's all square. It finishes in the game for Molyneux. We've been Cameron Pope and Simon Barlow. This has been Off-Tube Independent studio-based commentary. The final score after a drab affair: England 0, Italy 0.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities.